Hi and welcome back to another bucket list with an artistic twist series. And as you can see over here, I have my sketchbook and we are going to be working on Switzerland today. So let's go ahead and get started. So for this episode, I wanted to do more of a laid back and relaxed impressionist styled painting. So I'm going to use a couple brands of my acrylic markers to do that. And as you can see, I did kind of a postage stamp sketch on here as well. And for the first stamp, I'm actually going to draw a landscape of this town called Lauterbrunnen, which is in the Swiss Alps. And it has this waterfall that falls between the rocky cliffs. And I just think it looks really pretty. And hopefully one day I'll get to see it in person. For our second stamp, we are going to do a Swiss chocolate because I love chocolate. Now, I haven't had the orange brand box before. I did look up popular brands and that was one of them that it showed on the internet, so maybe I'll try it one of these days. Oh, and there is my daughter asking me to draw a little smiley face on her bunny squishy. Anyways, I have of course had Toblerones and I have had Lindor chocolates. Those are one of my favorites. They just melt in your mouth. What's not to love? But yeah, there just seems to be a lot of good chocolates over in Europe, and I look forward to trying a lot of them. For our third stamp, we're going to do a Swiss fondue. So fun fact, which I'm not sure how accurate it is, it's just what Google says, but apparently its origins were in the 18th century, and it was a way for families to stretch their resources during the winter months by using leftover cheese, some stale bread, and a dash of wine, and then they would just gather around the hearth. But yeah, so I'm pretty picky with my cheeses, but I feel like I can't go to Switzerland and not try their fondue. So if the chance comes, I will definitely give it a try. Oh, also, I was actually really struggling with the bread basket because I was very limited with my shades of brown. Two of the browns basically looked the same, even though they weren't supposed to. And so, the table is brown, the basket's supposed to be brown, the bread is supposed to be brown. So I was having a hard time trying to add details and give it dimension. So eventually I just pulled out my actual acrylic paints and tried to fix it up the best that I could. It didn't necessarily turn out how I had planned, but I think in the long run you get the gist of what I was going for. So yeah. So for our fourth stamp, we are actually going to do the Switzerland flag. So every time I do one of these, I always create a little pocket so that way whenever I do end up going to this location, I can take pictures and put them in that pocket for memories. If you haven't seen the other episodes, feel free to check them out. What's really nice about this series is every single page is just of a different place, so you really don't have to worry about watching it in a specific order. So yeah, if you get the chance, feel free to check them out. Our fifth stamp is going to be the Matterhorn. Some people believe that the Matterhorn inspired Mount Crumpet in the movie How the Grinch Stole Christmas. But on the other hand, some people say it was actually inspired by Mount Tom in Western Massachusetts. I really have no idea, but either way, the Matterhorn is nestled in a beautiful valley in the Swiss Alps anyway, so I still feel like I would get those Grinch vibes despite if that was what actually inspired it or not. Also, there's a glacier paradise up there where you can see like ice crystals and ice sculptures. It is 3,883 meters above sea level, which is quite higher than the Zugspitze that we went and saw in Germany, because that one was only 2,962 meters above sea level, and that alone was kind of intimidating. I don't know, I think it'd still really be neat to go check out the sculptures, so yeah, we'll see. And for our sixth and final stamp, we are gonna do like a train landscape because there are some really pretty scenic routes that they do over there. And I actually even saw that they have a chocolate train where I guess you can get like chocolates and cheeses. So that sounds pretty appealing to me if I do say so myself. But there's also a scenic route called Glacier Express, which looks really pretty too. I'd have to do a lot more research. There's a lot of good ones to pick from. So right around here, I realized I forgot to write Switzerland on the flag. But yeah, then I just go around and I decide that I wanted to change all the writing. I just thought it looked nicer. And lastly is just to write Switzerland at the top. And here's a better angle for you. I actually really enjoy doing more impressionist styled painting. I feel like it takes a lot of the stress away when you're not trying to go super specific and detailed. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so you know when I share my next video. And I hope to see you next time.